Hello, it's Clive deCarle here with the Health Revolution, and I'm very pleased to welcome MJ Pangman back again. Hello, MJ.
Hi, Clive. How are you today?
Brilliant, thank you. And I've asked you to come on so that you can explain a couple of these new things that you have. They sound very exciting. Perhaps you could tell us all about it.
So should we just jump in?
Yes, please. Jump into the hydrogen water. It should be nice and warm at this time of year.
Yes, it could be. Hydrogen-rich water is a fascinating subject. It's kind of like the next level after you learn to structure your water. Then you really do want to learn to enrich your water with all kinds of different energetic enhancements. And enriching the water with hydrogen is just very, very powerful. When we wrote the first edition of Dancing with Water, and just by the way, we're working on the second edition, but as we were doing the research for the first edition, the research was just starting to come out on the power of hydrogen. Everybody has talked about putting oxygen back in the water, but actually enriching the water with hydrogen is a much bigger deal, and the medical community has jumped all over this. Within the last 10 years, there have just been hundreds, literally, of articles that have been published on the therapeutic value of enriching the environment, whether it's the breathing environment or the water with hydrogen. So there's lots of evidence to support what we're doing here as far as therapeutic benefits. Hydrogen has antioxidant benefits, which of course then are anti-inflammatory benefits. There have been some interesting research pieces published even through the military about the radioprotective effects of a hydrogen-rich environment. Lots of studies that corroborate the early work that Dr. St. Georgi did with comprehending that the organs in the body under normal circumstances will pool hydrogen. So they've always got a pool of hydrogen to work from. The liver is one of those organs that uses lots of hydrogen because it's involved in the detox process. So our natural environment, the food we eat, the air we breathe, the water we drink has all been depleted of hydrogen. So putting that back into our environment any way that we can is going to produce some very significant benefits. Something that I didn't mention right up front about benefits are the benefits to the brain, to the neurological system. A lot of people are noticing, even just with taking these products or using these products with the water, some cognitive benefits, better focus. And of course, hydrogen is involved in the whole metabolic process of producing energy. So athletes are using hydrogen-rich water and hydrogen-enriched environments to support their performance. So the benefits are all over the place, and it's just a fun thing to begin to look at. When we started our research, let me just kind of go back here. The whole hydrogen thing began when Dr. Hidemitsu Hayashi, who did some of the first work with water ionizers in Japan, noticed that really the benefits of ionized water were the hydrogen. And so eventually he backed away from the ionization concept because he realized that wasn't necessarily the best way to add therapy or therapeutic benefits, and created the first hydrogen stick. And that was based on the fact that magnesium, when it's placed in water, will release hydrogen, grabbing hydrogen from the water, ionizing the water to a certain extent very gently, and creating hydrogen-rich water. So he was the first, giving us some clues about backing away from ionized water and yet using the benefits of that water in hydrogen-rich solution. So he created the first hydrogen stick, which is one of the things we talk about in Dancing with Water. But since that time, people have gotten very creative and developed some other ways to create hydrogen-rich water, and that's why we are featuring a couple of new products that we've discovered and been working with for the last 6 months. So we actually have 3 different products on the website, dancingwithwater.com, that will enrich the water easily with hydrogen for consumption. And they're all different. They work in different ways. And you know, if you want, we'll talk about what makes them different and how they might be different in their use for different applications.
I'd be very interested to hear the differences and whether one can take, has the benefit from taking one, two, or all three.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's talk about that. The three products that we have ended up with on the website are Patrick Flanagan's Crystal Energy. That is a unique product that was developed by Patrick Flanagan many years ago, actually before Dr. Hayashi was creating his magnesium stick. Patrick Flanagan discovered that he could create a silica hydride matrix that would grab hydrogen, particularly the negative hydrogen ion. And let's kind of back away and say, first of all, that hydrogen is available in a lot of forms. The body can use all the forms. H2 is the molecular hydrogen. The positive hydrogen ion is just a simple proton. The negative hydrogen ion, they're both antioxidants. All three of them are antioxidants. And then you get into things like hydronium, too, which is an extra hydrogen proton added to the water molecule. All those forms of hydrogen can be utilized by the body. The body knows exactly what to do to grab whatever form it's interested in and take whatever it needs. So any of those forms are good in the water or in the environment, and the body will take them as it needs to. So Crystal Energy, Patrick Flanagan's product, is a liquid. And it's intended to be just dropped into water. It creates a silica hydride matrix which grabs hydrogen, particularly the negative hydrogen ions, which is what Patrick's work was all about. So it's grabbing more of the negative hydrogen ions from the air and from the water. So what Melanie and I kind of discovered was that you didn't necessarily have to use the big amount that is recommended on the product, but that after you've created that matrix that grabs hydrogen, it'll continue to grab hydrogen for a long time. And if you let the water mature overnight, that matrix that's created in the water continues to grab hydrogen, and it continues to be infused in the cages, the silica hydride cages that the product creates in the water. So you don't need very much if you have the time and are willing to take the time to let the water mature. So Crystal Energy is a liquid, several drops in a glass or up to a half a gallon of water, and matured, then consumed as one form of drinking hydrogen-rich water. We've noticed, Melanie and I, that it takes a little bit of the body's energy to get that hydrogen because it's in a silica hydride matrix. So it takes a little more work from the body to grab that hydrogen and be able to use it. Okay, so that's the first product. Another product I'm just going to hold up here is called Active H2. This is a reformulation of a product that we talked about in Dancing with Water, and the reformulation we're very excited about because it's a little more balanced product. It's made of magnesium, mannitol, which is an OH radical scavenger to get rid of oxygen radicals from the water, and organic acids, which really balance this product, keeping it not quite so alkaline, because we really would like to have a water that's close to neutral in pH when we're done. And Active H2 works by, it's a little tablet, it's an effervescent. And you get yourself a nice bottle that has a sealed top. Those swing top bottles are really nice that will kind of clamp down. Put one of these tablets in your bottle, let it effervesce for 15 or 20 minutes, and it's available to drink right away. On an empty stomach is perfect, and you get a real punch of hydrogen. because we recommend that you drink that right away while it's fresh. As soon as you open the lid, you're going to release some hydrogen, but a lot of it has been forced into the matrix of the water. So the active H2 is grabbing hydrogen from the water, created via the process of the interaction of water and magnesium, which is releasing the hydrogen. So that is another great way to get a hydrogen-rich solution. The next product that we've just recently added is called Primo H2, and it's entirely different. This product is meant to be, it's a capsule, and it's not really meant to be put in water because you put it in the watery environment in your body. And it works with the stomach's acids, hydrochloric acid, to release the hydrogen, and it's right there available immediately in your body. So that product works actually by grabbing hydrogen from hydrochloric acid, and the more hydrochloric acid you have in your system, the more the product will release hydrogen and make it immediately available in your body. So really, younger people may benefit from this more because they have a more acidic stomach, which is one reason we actually recommend that the Primo H2 be taken, actually both these two products be taken with magnesium bicarbonate water.
How do you make magnesium bicarbonate water?
You know, that may be a subject that's a little bit lengthy for this particular discussion, but we do have an article with a recipe because it's a little bit involved. But magnesium bicarbonate water, you're familiar with, Clive, I know, is based on the work of Dr. Beckett from Australia, and very well supported by the work of Dr. Mark Serkis. So they're both proponents of this particular type of water. It's extremely beneficial drinking because you're supporting the bicarbonate buffering system in the body. You're adding magnesium in a bioavailable form. You are creating additional hydrogen. You're balancing the digestive tract. You're supporting all the pH mechanisms in your body. All the way around, it's just a very, very supportive water. So we would highly recommend people read the article, and there's a recipe there. There's lots of recipes on the internet. But we, Melanie and I have actually, we think, taken this to another level and told people how to create magnesium bicarbonate water that one of the health clinics here who helps us test these kinds of things said was magnesium bicarb water on hyperdrive. You need a lot less drinking it to have the same effect. It takes a little bit longer. It's a little bit more involved, which is why, you know, this setting may not be the best setting to go into it, but it's a great thing to understand, and I know you do.
So would you use all three? Would you choose how would you use these?
You know what? Since we came across these latest two products that we're talking about, Melanie and I have really had fun using both of them because they're both different and they both interact with the body in good ways, but in slightly different ways. The active H2 is absorbed really rapidly in the intestines, it would appear, from our intuitive looks at this. The Primo H2 is a little more gentle in our experience. So it's not quite as strong and hard of a hit. It's more of a slower release. Both of these are better on an empty stomach. So you really do need to sort of work a routine out where you can take these and not be having anything in your stomach for a while to allow the absorption of the hydrogen. And of course, for the Primo H2, you want an empty stomach so that you can so that your gastric acids can really work with this product and release slow. So I will say that, you know, one of the things Melanie and I are doing with the Primo H2 is taking it at night, which is an interesting thought. You've got an empty stomach going to bed, most people. You can take it with a glass of magnesium bicarbonate water, which is better on an empty stomach too. And then you go into your restful time, which is a wonderful time to use hydrogen for the regenerative benefits that it has. So, you know, we've both found ourselves taking this at night and then sometimes first thing in the morning. And I like to have a glass of this later in the afternoon. So we like both. The Primo H2 looks to be very supportive for the organs, especially the liver and the kidneys. So depending on where people are at and what they're looking for, this is great for athletes, the Active H2, because they can drink this water before and during the workout. There have been some interesting research done with endurance athletes showing that, drinking hydrogen-rich water during the workout is very beneficial for reducing muscle fatigue and helping with recovery time.
So presumably this is going to have an effect on longevity if you took it regularly, would you think? Has to, doesn't it?
Yeah, yes. As is drinking water, If you're not hydrated, and think about the interesting connection here. We make this connection in the book, but it's called hydration. Hydration is the body's call for hydrogen in water, and they go hand in hand. So think about the unique relationship between oxygen, which we cannot live without, hydrogen, and the combined oxygen-hydrogen in water. That's the foundation of health, period. So longevity, you've got to have some benefits, whether or not they're noticeable. And it's an over-the-time kind of thing, At the end of your life, who knows what drinking good water and adding hydrogen to your water may have, done for you. It may be subtle, like some of the differences people notice in drinking water, but it's definitely the foundation of your health.